Hi, my name is Paul Woods and I'm the founder of a company called Adopt and Embrace. So Adopt and Embrace, we're trying to solve the user adoption problem or active usage problem or consumption problem, however you want to spin it, for software as a service vendors like Microsoft, Adobe, SAP and some other ones like Cisco that are coming into a more software-defined world. What is unique about our approach is that we are challenging all the assumptions that most organisations make when it comes to user adoption. For us, the general approach is that most people go into these projects and say, okay, we're going to run a change program, we're going to do a communications plan, we're going to do a training needs analysis, we're going to roll out some training, and then once we've deployed a technology and we've ticked the box of training being done, then we'll go back to doing whatever the next project is. A lot of our customers have gone through the process of trying to get people to use technology. They've built a brilliant business case which says, if we deploy this unified communication solution or this collaboration solution, we're going to see a 237.5% improvement in productivity, and therefore the business case stands, and therefore we can invest in this technology. And almost every time they look back at the business case and go, you know what, we didn't achieve what we're trying to achieve. So a lot of our customers that we work with now have been burnt in the past from those kinds of approaches, and they want to see real value from the investments that they're making. And we've seen a real shift in the marketplace in the last 2 or 3 years where, chief information officers, chief digital officers, CFOs, executives are more concerned about getting bang for buck and value out of the technology, as opposed to just having the latest and greatest tech and the perfect technical deployment. So we focus on that business value as opposed to just delivering a training program or delivering a change program, which a lot of others do. The second thing is that specialist expertise. We are trying to build an organisation which is the best of the world at what we do. And we're being recognised by that already with some of the innovative things that we're bringing to market with some of our customers, and more importantly, some of the results that we're getting with some of our customers as well. There's very few people in the marketplace that can, hand on heart, go back to a customer and say, we spent 3 days with you and we saved you $47,000 in travel expenditure over the next 3 months alone because of work that we did with you over the past 3 days. When you hand an invoice over and the report at the same time, it makes it easy to pay the invoice, right? You get the cash out of the customer. So we focus on results, we focus on outcomes, and it's about real tangible business value as opposed to just activity that you think is making a difference, but reality is it isn't. I've got a very supportive family, and they knew that the day that I was going to start a company was coming for a long time. So it wasn't a surprise or anything like that. In fact, probably 5 or 6 years ago, we'd had the same discussion around leaving corporate life and starting a company to solve this problem. Now, if we had done it back then, we would have been bankrupt in 3 months because the market was completely wrong. Wrong timing. The customers weren't ready, they didn't see it as a real problem. So I think we got the timing right, or as close to possible as right now. Now it's not all roses, obviously, there's a lot of stress that goes on when you're starting a company and bootstrapping a company. We had saved a bit of a nest egg with regards to having a nice cushy corporate job and saving up over time, and we had a lot of redraw on our mortgage. We don't have much redraw on our mortgage anymore, a little bit, but not much. We had credit cards where we would pay it off in full every single month without fail. We hadn't paid interest on a credit card in 10 years. And now we pay interest fairly regularly on our credit cards, right? So some of those dynamics around the family have absolutely changed. I didn't take a salary for the first 5 months. Again, that's just, my wife's an accountant, so they're completely different ideas. She was all about getting the money in, and I'm like, no, we can't do it. It's got to be focused on the business so we can have that cash flow there and have cash and runway there so we can bring on new people into the business and grow the opportunity over time. The best thing about it is that having the flexibility to spend more time with my kids and more time with my wife, which I didn't necessarily get. Well, I did get, but not as much as I do now. Yeah. So I think I have a better work-life balance now, but I work more. And that is because I'm getting home and spending time with my kids and time with my wife, but then I'm getting back to work at 8 o'clock once the kids are in bed and my wife's watching TV, and I'm working through till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning trying to get that next proposal out the door, or work on that marketing copy for the website, or trying to put a video together for some viral thing that we're trying to do, or develop some more of our intellectual property. So there's always something to do. There's never nothing to do in the business. And that's probably the biggest challenge, but the biggest benefit as well is I can have more control over my time, but there's more things I need to do in that external pressure that's always there as well. Adopt and Embrace is already evolving. It's probably the best way to answer that question. We started out as a pure play Microsoft Office 365 user adoption professional services organisation, purely to get that bootstrap cash flow going. And we've been successful to some extent to achieve that. The next step for us is how do we then transition from that professional services, you were selling time and our bodies essentially to in exchange for cash, which sounds really horrible, but that's how it is. How do we transition from that to more of a managed service company? So how do we go from project-based work to recurring revenue work from still a professional services point of view? Then how do we add layers of intellectual property to that to increase margins and ultimately become an intellectual property company over time? I think the Queensland government in particular is doing a really good job. The Advanced Queensland stuff that they're putting forward is creating a context for this kind of stuff to happen. So I think that's brilliant. That's what they should be doing. Personally, I guess from a company point of view, do we see much direct relevance as part of those programs? Probably not. But the groundwork that they're laying and the foundation they're laying for us to be successful and to create the opportunities for us to engage at a government level, I think that's a really, really good thing. The more that everyone's talking about it, the more people are thinking about it. The more people are thinking about it, is the more that customers are taking startups seriously as well. So if you're a startup 10 years ago, a big government organisation probably wouldn't have dealt with you, but today they will. And today they'll listen to you. And not only will they listen to you, they actually take your advice because you're so specialist or niche or focused on solving that particular problem that they'll take that advice on face value as opposed to dismissing it because you're just a one-man band or a two-man band. So I think if you're thinking 5 years or 10 years ago, that probably wouldn't have happened. So hopefully more of that happens into the future as well.